Another hot day in the city. Sweat pouring down. No, it ain't too pretty.
Oh, here we are on this incredible Friday night.
Fantastic songs.
Do you think anybody would know the name of this song?
We'd have to wait till the chorus, and then we could probably get it.
Okay, let's wait it out. Let's see.
Yeah, let's wait it out. I feel like it's gonna have the word night in it, like something night.
Okay.
Or like here we go.
Angel of the City.
There we are.
And I wonder if anyone out there knows what song this is from. What movie this is from.
Nobody's going to know. Nobody.
Would you know this? If you heard this on the radio, would you know?
Absolutely not.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't turn it. I would rock
Right.
this, but I don't know that I would know, like, having not seen the movie, having not recently seen it.
I'm trying to think if I can honestly say that I would know. I've seen Cobra, which is the movie we're talking about tonight. I've seen Cobra quite a few times, so I would have to say I think that I could recognize it from this movie. I might be wrong, but I can never be in that situation.
Well, we know everybody at the office here knows that you're a Stallone fan. So
Yes.
we know that you're going to be able to pick this tune out.
Yes.
I would not.
So yeah, this is as we're listening to Angel of the City, I'm actually privy to watching the video. And
You're watching the video?
It's got scenes, which is a montage in the movie.
Classic.
So it's got the exact montage on the video that I'm watching as the audience.
Everybody knows Stallone loves a montage.
Yes, and that was brought up in also a little thing I watched today. There are two montages in Cobra, but there's three in the early Rocky movies. So he does love the montage.
He does.
And it's no exception with this one also.
Nope.
So tonight we are getting into the movie Cobra. But before we dive in, please check out all of our social media pages. That's the Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and what did I say? Instagram, maybe? What's yours, Anthony Wayne?
Oh, Anthony Wayne Vibe, the awvibe.com, the anywhere Anthony Wayne Vibe would pop up in your feed.
And
Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, and you've got some stuff. If people stick around to the later show,
That's right.
there's going to be this is a little tease, but there's going to be some cool things coming out.
Yeah, we're going to cover it. We're going to break it down. We're going to have a montage of all the things happening for the Vibe Festival.
Yes, so we are very much looking forward to that. But before that, let's get into this tough as nails cop must protect the only surviving witness to a strange, murderous cult with far-reaching plans. Cobra.
They are not angels of the city.
No.
They are axe-wielding, very in-time tempo with their axe-wielding clinging that they do in the I think it's an abandoned pool, or it looks like an abandoned something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a pool. Maybe that's another movie I watched. That's the problem with all these. We watch all these movies, and sometimes
they kind of bleed
scenes
into one
together. Yeah.
But yeah. So they're in some kind of it's something
it's a
abandoned.
Warehouse, I think it's an abandoned warehouse.
So yeah, Cobra. This is a 1986 Sylvester Stallone film, and it has Sylvester Stallone, Bridget Nielsen, and Brian Thompson. Now, did you know that Bridget Nielsen and Sylvester Stallone, they were married during this production?
I did not know that.
They met on Rocky IV,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were married for 2 years.
And he beat up her husband.
Yeah.
And in the movie and stole her.
And they were both in relationships in real life, and then but
how long did that last? Do you know?
2 years.
No.
2 years.
Come on, Stallone.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, that that was pretty much the highlight, I guess, of Bridget Nielsen's career. Because what did she do after that? Anything much?
Well, no, I don't know that, but
The Flavor of Love. She was on that 15 or 20 years later.
oh
Do
my
you recall
gosh, I
that?
do.
Did you ever watch an episode of that?
I think I stumbled on it and I was like, okay, this is terrible.
It's horrible. It's
Yeah.
horrible. But
I do love Public Enemy, so
Flavor Flav.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
So this was This was at the height of Sylvester Stallone's power. So he could pretty much do Hollywood powers.
Mm-hmm.
So he could pretty much do anything that he wanted, and this was the movie that he chose to do. But originally, this spawned from. Do you know the answer to this one?
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was.
I think he wanted to write the script. This was like this film, Cobra, was going to be like what he wanted Beverly Hills Cop to be, and I think that I don't know if they wanted a funny buddy cop movie, but I think they didn't want it to be as gritty as like Cobra was. And I still think even this version of Cobra is like almost not exactly what he wanted. I think he wanted it to be a little deeper and dirtier and like darker.
Totally. Because what they in that story about the Beverly Hills Cop is 100% correct. They offered it to Stallone, but the producer, I think it was Jerry Bruckheimer, really wanted Eddie Murphy to do it. But Stallone, like you said, wanted to make it more of a gritty, darker turn, and they really wanted it to be a comedy. So they, dropped Stallone. I think he did like Rocky IV, and then he had the power pretty much to choose what he wanted to do.
I think it worked out.
He rewrote Cobra,
Mm-hmm.
and it was based upon a novel called Fair Game,
Oh.
which later became a movie starring William Baldwin and Cindy Crawford.
No way.
So Cobra is based upon the book that Fair Game is. So I kind of found that. Did you ever see the movie Fair Game?
I don't think I did.
I saw it in a theater with my grandmother. I was 15 years old, and I thought Cindy Crawford was, beautiful, obviously, but I
Sure.
was more of a, I'm trying to think of her name now. I can't. I'll think of it throughout the show. But I was more, like this other kind of swimsuit model.
That was in Fair Game?
No, Cindy Crawford's in it, but I liked another one better. So I was never really huge with Cindy Crawford.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I went to see the movie, and it was, it was a fine action movie at the time. But I do remember in the heat of the action, there's a sex scene on the train. So you have to think of this in the movie.
With your grandmother in present.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I didn't know this going into it
No,
because I'm a 15.
she probably didn't either.
No. And I was very embarrassed
I
sitting
can imagine.
beside my grandmother watching Fair Game. And I'd watched it maybe 14 years later, and it's a terrible movie. It is a terrible, terrible movie.
12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Fair Game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
Didn't do well.
No.
It doesn't. Is it anything? Okay, so just so I can get this in my brain.
Okay.
Is it anything like Cobra? I don't
No,
think I've not
no.
seen it. So
No.
but it was based on.
Yeah, Cobra is based upon the book that the movie Fair Game turned out to be.
Okay. No, see, I feel like we just got to do Fair Game.
Fair Game needs to be one, actually. I do think that because I think many people have heard of it, but they haven't seen it. So I think that's something that they should really look at. We should really look into doing. But back to Cobra. So you want to know a few interesting facts about Cobra?
I would love to hear some interesting facts about.
So Cobra cost $25 million. It was set up in the summer of 1986 and was originally going to run over 2 hours long. It had more plot, more character development. However, there was a lingering movie called Top Gun that had just come out.
Oh.
And was breaking records left and right. So the studio Warner Brothers thought, let's trim Cobra down so we can get as many showings in as possible before Top Gun comes in and takes over the cinema. So we have a shorter Cobra thanks due to Top Gun. So if you go through and you watch Cobra, and there's a lot of scenes that seem like they should be a little bit longer or there's not as much character development, we have Top Gun and Tom Cruise partially to blame.
What about that? That's an interesting fact.
And I would have loved to have seen, because Cobra's pretty short. It's about an hour and a half.
I felt like it was.
And it seemed, because if you think of the main bad guy, which we'll get into, he's not nearly as developed. He's not really developed at all.
No,
He's
the whole bad side of everything wasn't really developed. All that
very
well.
vague, very vague.
And like what's her name? The one that plays, the detective that they bring in, sort of the halfway through, and she's part of the bad guys.
Yeah.
She played, I think, Pinky Tuscadero in the Grease movie. She's they don't really develop like how she even like.
Yeah,
she just was a cop and like just showed up. They put her on the case, and she just kind of like.
That is kind of true, because it even shows her as part of the cult before the police, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't know that you really know that she was a cop until like halfway through. I was like, "What? She's a cop?"
I do remember thinking that the first time I watched that. Good observation. But who did she play? What?
I think it's the person that played. I don't know her name, but she played Pinky Tuscadero in Grease.
Okay.
Is that not correct?
Okay.
I'm going to check that out. I might be incorrect, but...
That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. Let's see what else we got. We have Cobra personally kills 41 people in the movie. So Stallone, as Marion Cobretti, takes down 41 people in this entire movie of Cobra. But Stallone's biggest kill count... Do you know what this is from? I wonder if anyone out there knows. And I kind of thought that before I even read to confirm. But if you've ever seen the 2008 movie Rambo, have you seen that one, Anthony?
I have. I would have guessed a Rambo film, honestly.
And that one is probably the most violent Rambo movie I've ever seen, with a kill count of 252 people.
I remember that. I remember watching that, and I was like, dude, he is just murdering everybody
left and right. And that was one I actually got to see in the theater, so that was kind of cool to see that. So as we mentioned earlier, Stallone quit Beverly Hills to make this film, and I think everyone it worked out for the better for everyone. Stallone got Cobra. Wasn't exactly the film that he wanted, but more so than Beverly Hills Cop. And then Eddie Murphy got one of his trademark characters with Axel Foley. I forgot exactly, but Axel had Stallone played Axel, it would have been somehow they were going to work his name into Axel. They were going to work Axel into Cobretti's name.
Really?
Yes.
Cobretti's cool though.
Yeah, it is a cool name. What if Bruce Springsteen had a gun? The partial inspiration behind the character that was rock and roll meets drama. So Bruce Springsteen, that's kind of what Stallone thought. What if Bruce Springsteen had a gun? So you've got 1985 Bruce Springsteen, and would you say commercially that was probably the height of Bruce Springsteen?
He's always been up there, but I would say that's the one that everybody might envision. It's the the Born to Run cover, the
Dancing in the Dark.
I think that's the one everybody knows, and the jeans. I think they both had. Very tight jeans.
Yeah,
so
and if you look at the front, if you look at the poster of Cobra, which I posted today on the Other People Show Facebook page, it's a really cool poster. Like, he looks cool. He's got that, he's got that V-neck black shirt, the shades. He's got that what's he got? A little match in his mouth.
Yeah.
He's got that machine gun in his hand, the black and red contrast. So he's really cool. And that's kind of how I think he, kind of envisioned him, because Springsteen often had the tight jeans, sometimes wore a leather jacket.
Yep.
Kind of represented that old toughness, which I think Cobretti kind of was, in a way.
Yep. Jersey, New York.
Yeah. So he was trying to be rock and roll meets a drama. That was Marion Cobretti.
He nailed it.
Mm-hmm. And interesting fact, if you've seen it, Brian Thompson, who plays the Night Slasher, Stallone originally thought that he was too nice of a guy to play the Night Slasher. He had to come back and screen test 5 to 6 times, because he had only had a small role as one of the goons in The Terminator at this point.
Yep.
And so Stallone had him come back multiple times, and luckily he got the part, because I think with the material, I'm not sure what was left on the cutting room floor, but what we see, he did a heck of a job.
Oh, sure. Yeah, he's menacing. Like, he's a creepy, and I think I've seen him in like some other movies. He seems like a character actor that's like been in like the villain role.
Yeah, he was one of those people like, oh, I've seen that guy.
Yeah.
One of those guys.
Yep.
Which would be great to be one of those guys. Don't you think so? You just slip
sure,
in and
to
out. You
work
just
with-
slip
yeah.
in and out. Work with great people.
I guess it's when they worry about typecast, though.
Yeah,
You
that's
just-
true.
You just never could get out of that role. Kind of like the funny guy. Like, you always get to be the funny guy, and you get tons of work, but you...
That part of the creative
Yeah.
side doesn't really get fulfilled.
And that might go back to Robin Williams' 1 Hour Photo.
True.
He always had the funny role, and then he gets the darker role, which he loved.
Mm-hmm.
But
Not as
doesn't-
successful
yeah,
as
it doesn't really...
resonate as much
Yeah.
as the comedically satisfying
We
role.
just get used to what we love,
Yeah. Another
So
thing
that's what we need, is we need a Brian Thompson comedy role.
we do.
Maybe
Now,
there's one out there, I don't know.
Now, I was as I was listening, the first part of my next statement on here is false. I did think that Brian Thompson did not enjoy making the movie, but further research revealed that he did enjoy making the movie, but he did not enjoy the way his character was on screen.
Maybe he didn't enjoy the shorter edit.
Right, the shorter
'Cause
edit.
He really wasn't in it too much. There was a couple scenes where he snarled and sweated a lot, but he didn't really talk at all until the very end.
And at the very end, I
And,
noticed
like,
that as well.
15 words. Stallone said like 37 words.
Not many words at all.
Yeah.
There's a movie called Only God Forgives. It's a Ryan Gosling movie.
Yeah.
And have you watched it?
I have.
He only says about 37 or 38 words in that movie. Yeah, you're one of the only people that I've ever mentioned
Yeah, it's a good
that's watched that.
Is that the one that's got
Kristen Scott Thomas is his mother in the movie.
Okay, no, I don't.
Have you seen a movie called Drive with him?
Oh man, great film.
We might need to do that one.
That's a great film.
Yeah, that's a really cool film. But yeah, Brian Thompson did enjoy making it, but he wasn't even invited.
Come on.
Can you believe that?
Come on.
I mean,
Maybe
would
they
probably
got the address wrong.
maybe.
Maybe they just didn't. Maybe he didn't get the email.
Yeah. They, now, what would you think? He would probably be he's the fifth or sixth lead, I would imagine. I mean, there's not really a lot of people in the movie if you think about it. Not really. And he's pretty pronounced. He has a weapon. Now, Stallone did say that he wanted a weapon that was so menacing that it would be remembered.
Well, they got that right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like some tactical machine built.
Especially
like
in his hands.
Yeah, we should probably describe it. So it's like a 8-inch blade, and it's got like a brass knuckle type design. Like you hold it that way, but it's got spikes on the ends.
Yeah.
So you can do, close combat.
And it's very
very sharp, because he spends a lot of the movie sharpening it.
yes, and that sound,
Yeah.
that sound. I've been trying to
Definitely-
find that sound, but that sound is.
He's definitely putting in the work in the shop.
I mean, he's putting in so much work that beads of sweat
Yeah.
are coming down his
Yeah,
face.
he's like, God, can we get an AC in here?
I know.
When are we going to spend the money to get the air conditioning for this warehouse, you evil henchman? Stop making all that racket with those axes, and let's get some AC in here.
I hadn't thought about it that way. Oh, that would be awful. You're starting the cult.
Yeah.
And I mean, all right, we found an abandoned place. And
Yeah.
it's great. So in the winter, okay, it's pretty warm.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
going to be
summer,
fine.
though,
It'll be fine. We'll do cult things in the winter. It'll be
yeah,
great.
in the summer,
Oh, it's just
it's
terrible
unbearable.
being part of this cult in the summer. Come on.
And one thing I did notice, and I'll bring up a little bit later,
Open the bay doors.
was some of the people that were in the cult. Did you notice some of them throughout? Like when
I did watch it when they're doing the
axe?
clanging. Yeah, the axe clanging. I did watch a couple, and there was a what I noticed is there's like one guy on the right side of the screen that's like he wasn't in time with everybody And I thought, well, they just ran out of time. Can't edit that out. Can't edit that out.
Right.
They just asked like 15 dudes outside near the food truck. They're just like, hey, we need some bodies in here. Can you guys keep time with an axe?
What I found also a little bit amusing is, and I didn't notice this I don't know when I noticed it pretty recently, as in the last couple years, is that there's businessmen in suits. There was somebody in like just random outfits that would be on the street, but I'm like, why would you show up to a cult meeting wearing a suit and tie?
Yeah, well, you got other things you got to do.
I guess so.
You're coming from work.
You come straight there.
I can't make all these meetings, Adam. All these cult meetings. I've got so much to do. I'm coming straight from work. They probably say, "Can you guys come in the cult shirt? Can you wear Can you wear your cult shorts?" It's like, man, I just got off work. How am I going to change?
I know.
There's no bathroom in this warehouse.
God, I can't, because I mean, you would imagine they're down there in the hot, and then they're in suits.
Yeah.
But I never see you. Only see a cup. I never see any of the henchmen. I guess you can call them henchmen.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You see them down there clanging the axes, and then you see them later on motorcycles.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people that are clanging the axes don't look like they would be on motorcycles.
No, I think that's a different group.
Okay.
He had to hire though. Yeah.
Okay.
He has an axe wielding group, and then he hires out his motorcycle crew. Yeah, they're different.
With guns.
Yeah, they're different guys.
Okay. Good to know that. Good to know that.
Yeah. That's just like, evil bidding 101 right there.
Yeah, like Dr. Evil right
Yeah.
there. So this was a pretty interesting thing. The 1950 Mercury Montera, is that how it's pronounced? Monterey?
I think Monterey. It's
Monterey?
Monterey Coupe. Yeah,
Okay, Monterey Coupe.
The lead sled.
They purchased it from Stallone, and they had made 2 other stunt cars as well.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool.
So I didn't know they purchased it. I thought it was just his and he kept it.
Well, see, that's what I thought originally, but the one I'd read, he was originally under obligation to make a movie for Studio Cannon, but he made Over the Top. Somehow he owed them one more movie, but Cobra came along first. So it was some kind of a loophole to help get him around making that other film for Cannon, and it went to the purchase of him selling the car, and I guess him getting it back as well. But they did some damage to that car.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
a lot of damage.
Which is we'll get to it, but that's a great scene.
Yeah, it is. So let's get into the plot in the story. You wanna give out the plot there, Anthony?
Well, I think the plot is going to be gritty street cop takes on the night, angels of the night.
Yeah,
yeah. He's a gritty cop. He's against the rules. He's got a few enemies on the force. They don't like his attitude.
No.
You know what, Cobretti? You've got an attitude. He's like, it's just a small one.
Just a small one.
Just a small one. Yeah, so he's a gritty cop, and they call him in for all the dirty work. And
he's on the zombie squad.
He's on the zombie squad. That's right. And there's a night slasher that's wrecking havoc in the city, and they need it figured out. They need answers tonight.
16 deaths.
Yes. And that's just too many. So they call in Cobretti, and they're gonna, even though they put him on the case, they're not too pleased with his antics.
No.
So I don't know that the plot is any deeper than that. I think, and there is a model who gets away,
right?
And she's seen his face. She's seen your face,
But it seemed like there was one point earlier on when they're putting on it looks, I don't know what kind of a mask that's called, because it's not really a ski mask that they put on, is it?
Oh, it's a pantyhose.
Okay, so he's putting pantyhose on.
Yeah.
And I found that really creepy, like when he does it like
it kind of mushes down the face in
such a menacing way.
Yeah.
And
but I thought it was hilarious that he cuts out the eye holes.
Yeah.
I just can't see through this mesh.
And he's sitting there down. He's sitting there in the bowels of the
warehouse.
The warehouse, sitting there cutting out eye holes.
Yeah.
He's and then trying to get on. Oh man, it's crooked.
Hey, can you give me the scissors? Bring me the henchman scissors.
I'm surprised this was never parodied. You know what I mean?
Oh no, we're probably we should be smacked on the hand for
That's true.
making fun, but
we're
it's too
showing
good. It's too
our
good.
yeah. It's
an
and it's
80s cop movie. They're so good.
and it's 80s through and through. Like everything about it's
100. Yep.
80s. So yeah, that's basically she sees the face, and they're pretty much trying to get her.
Trying
the
to
rest
hunt her
of the movie.
down, yeah, and then Cobra and his crew they take her on the lam, and they're gonna go to a safe house.
Yep, which turns out not to be so safe.
It is not so safe.
Due to the mole, I guess.
That's it. Yeah. Which I thought was one of the actresses from Grease, but I might be wrong. It's Stockard Channing, I think, is who. I might be wrong.
I'll have to do some research on that.
I couldn't. I just looked and I couldn't find. It's like more updated photos of them now, and it didn't look like her from back in the day. So
Right.
I'll have to do a deep dive.
So the characters. What do you have a favorite character?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Officer Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's just got good humor, and he's like the buddy, and he's like. I couldn't remember the movie. I've seen it a time or two, and I couldn't remember it while I was watching it, and I was like, oh man, I hope Tony doesn't die. He's such a cool dude, you know.
Right.
And his relationship with Stallone was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's like some ribbing, which
And it's always food. It's food ribbing.
There was some food ribs, yeah, because he was Stallone was supposed to be this healthy eater, and I guess Tony was like getting like beef jerky, and like when they were stopping, and like,
then he wanted gummy bears at the very end.
Gummy bears, yeah.
Now, a little fun fact about Tony Gonzalez, and you may have known this. I didn't realize he played Poppy in an episode of Seinfeld. Have you watched Seinfeld?
I have. Don't remember that. I know his face, and so I know I've seen him elsewhere, but that.
So
may
there's
be
an episode where Jerry gets a new couch. Well, he's actually Poppy's in there twice, and Poppy pees on Jerry's couch.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
And there's also a scene. I think it's the same episode where Jerry goes into Poppy's restaurant. Poppy uses the restroom, doesn't wash his hands, and then Jerry won't eat Poppy's food.
Okay, I've seen that. That does sound... Okay, I didn't know that was Poppy.
Neither did I. But after looking at it, I was like, it is. I did not...
Maybe we got some Seinfeld fans that can tell us what episode that would be in.
Yeah, I did not make the connection until I was like, yes, it is. But yeah, that's a good character. Myself...
What's your character?
I could really go with Cobretti because... Stallone is the reason that I originally watched the movie, which I love that character, and I would have loved to have seen the 2-hour version of this character, or all of the characters. But I really do like Brian Thompson as Night Slasher, and I do. I mean, he would probably have 15 minutes of screen time, maybe, not
much, yeah. And it's very quick, like it's just a quick glance and. I think most of it's at the end.
Yeah, in his fight scene. And the fight scene was really only about 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's not really that long of a fight scene. But I think Brian Thompson being his second movie, obviously I like Cobra is probably my favorite character. Now, I think I would have loved to have seen a sequel if they would have done it, a little just amped it up a little bit.
It's wide open. It could have been a sequel all day. Everybody made it.
Yeah. Because this was a successful movie.
Except for the Night Slasher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But I would have loved to have seen...
Somebody could have took over.
Yeah, there had to have been at least 50.
There had to have been like a Vice nice, Night Slasher that could have took over.
Yeah, kind of like books. Another... Yeah, exactly. Like, another one, another cult. Okay, we got to avenge. We we're out to get Cobretti.
The son of Night Slasher.
There we go. You could have done that.
Yeah, you can't. You got to kill the son if you expect to survive it.
Yes,
because he's always going to come back.
20 years later, when you're older,
and
can't
Henchman 101.
Yes, exactly. So, what about a favorite or least favorite scene? Do you have one of those?
Favorite scene, hands down. I've made my notes. The car chase.
Okay.
Yeah, the car chase. And if we can, I'm going to go to my notes here. Adam, okay. I would like to detail the scenic route of this car chase.
Okay.
So it starts downtown. We go, we're leaving the police station. We've got Bridget Nielsen, How do you say her first name? Is
I've
it
heard
Brigitte?
people say Brigitte, but some people say Bridget. So
Well, they're going to take her to the safe house. So they leave downtown. They're working and then there's like a pickup truck that takes Tony's car out.
Right.
Kind of, and then the chase ensues, and then as they're working their way out of downtown, the night slasher kind of shoots at them. So it's like they end up chasing the night slasher. No, actually, the night slasher gets in behind him, and he's chasing Cobra.
yeah,
So he's, they're all, So then they make their way to the interstate where he does that complete turnaround 180, and he's like shooting at the truck, and it blows up. And
because he's going backwards there.
He's driving backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a tactical driver, and he's sweating the whole time. Like there's like a scene where it shows him like he just immediately he starts sweating. Maybe he was in the warehouse earlier. I don't know.
It could have been.
So they get off the interstate. They go into like a random alleyway where they're banging in some trash cans. They jump like something, and then they make their way into the parking garage. Then he jumps off the second floor of the parking garage.
Yeah.
Car's still going fine, and then they're back on the interstate system. They get back off the interstate, into the inner city, into the suburbs where there's like a loop-de-loop bridge that they're doing jumps on, like moguls.
Yep.
And then they get out of the suburbs, and somehow they end at the docks and hit a boat. Like all this happens in like 7 minutes.
Yes.
It's amazing. And
They go everywhere.
Yeah, they really do. It's a scenic route of the city. And that was like maybe three quarters or half of their budget right there was like all the damage that they did.
Which was weird. Originally, that's one of the reasons they didn't want to make Cobra. They didn't want to turn Beverly Hills Cop into Cobra because the set pieces that Stallone wanted would have raised the budget much higher.
Oh.
And I would assume that action sequence, several of the action sequences probably.
Yeah,
but especially that one.
Yeah, then there was the shootout. That was another big.
Yeah.
Probably not a lot of money in that.
Now, one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, what you got?
Would actually be the opening of the movie. Now, I know there's a lot of product placement for Pepsi there.
He lives right next door to a sign.
Yes.
A neon Pepsi sign, yeah.
And inside the store, also the grocery store, when he goes in, he's right beside of a big Pepsi thing. It looks like there's like Pepsi coming
Oh, that's
out.
right. Yeah, it looks like it's coming. Yeah, yeah.
But I think that opening scene really sets the tone for the movie.
Sure.
You kind of get, but like you mentioned earlier, you don't really know it's not New Order. What do they call it? What does he say? The New World.
Oh, the guy that's taking over the grocery.
Yeah, like is that what he says? We have a new world or something?
I don't remember.
But you really don't understand what they want. Mm-hmm. They just want to kill the weak.
Yeah.
So only the strong survive is the only thing that
They're going to start at the grocery store.
Yeah, but the cult has no real mission other than just killing the weak. It seems,
Yeah.
because there's they kill 16 people, and here's another thing, and I didn't know if you realized this. So one of Cobretti's, I guess, sergeants, or the one that's kind of always button heads with him,
Monty.
Yeah. So Monty
He says something every time they're in the same scene. He's like,
every time,
"Great job, Cobretti," and then Monty's just like, "I wouldn't have done it that way."
Yeah.
There's always something.
So Monty originally had a bigger role, and Monty was originally the leader of the cult.
No.
That's why he was trying to steer Cobretti away from when Cobretti says, "I think it's more than one guy," and then Monty is like, "No, that's ridiculous." Whatever he says. So that's what we would have seen if it hadn't been edited down. Yeah.
If Maverick and Goose hadn't to come in and changed it with the volleyball scene.
Now that would have been a completely.
That's actually a cool take. That would have set up our part 2.
That would have set it up in that because
Cobra
at the end,
2.
Yeah.
Still Cobretti. Marion. Well, I don't know what the subtitle would be. Like Cobra 2.
Oh man.
I have to think. I'm gonna come up with something.
Yeah, definitely do that. What about you? Have a least favorite scene in this movie?
Nah, maybe not least favorite, but I thought I'm glad that there wasn't like a love thing going on between them two. I know that there was there was some tension there, but like he's cleaning his gun and she's just like, "Come over here."
Right.
You know, and I was like, "Oh, come on. He's trying to stay on watch, you know.
Yeah.
Let him Cobra out. Let him Cobretti himself, you know. Let him be in charge."
Well, there's a Stallone movie called Assassins with Antonio Banderas.
Yep.
And there's a scene very reminiscent of that where Julianne Moore is laying on the bed and Stallone has like a little pillow or something on the floor.
And he's cleaning. Is he cleaning his gun?
He cleans it in that scene, but she tells him to come over on the bed.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's after them in the movie, but I can't recall. Yeah, the Antonio Banderas' character is onto their trail. So that's kind of an underrated movie, Stallone movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of low key, I think. But when she's squirting all that ketchup on those French fries.
Oh yeah, and he's got a problem with it. He's just
I never had realized how much ketchup she squirts on that. I mean, she squirts for a good minute.
Yeah. I can't, I enjoy ketchup on fries.
Do you eat ketchup on fries that way?
No, I do not.
No.
No, I'm a dipper.
Me too.
I got to have it in like a little container or like to the side or something.
To the side, not all over it. It's just...
Yeah, no. If I did that, I'd probably... I don't know that I would ever do that, yeah.
It just seems gross.
Yeah.
Soggy fries.
It's a mess.
What about... Do you ever remember when they had the ketchup that was green?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Did you ever have that?
I don't know that maybe I did to try it, and maybe I
don't think I could eat green ketchup. I just don't. I don't know. But yeah, that was, I guess, when she...
Did it taste like... Oh, well, you don't know. We don't know. I wonder if it tastes like ketchup.
I don't know.
I'm sure
never,
it did.
Yeah, it had to have at least some way.
People would revolt.
But I didn't say that was my least favorite scene, but I did. It was noticeable that she did squirt ketchup, and she had on wigs throughout the entire movie.
Did she? I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I think they went back to that ketchup scene like 2 or 3 times. Like it showed her doing the squirting, and then he had a problem with it, and he was talking about it, and then she was like, "I'm gonna add more ketchup," and he's just like, "Hey, what does he say? I don't
Something
know.
about drowning.
Yeah,
Some
you're gonna drown there. Oh, you need some floaties, or you need a floating device.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, something like that. And I guess that scene was really just to kind of show that they were creating a rapport.
Yeah,
they were communicating and flirting.
Yeah, little flirtation there.
Yeah.
But I did not ever realize until the last 2 viewings how much ketchup she squirted on there.
I should have brought fries and ketchup.
Oh yeah.
I need to get back to my food.
You should. When you did it last time, the reel got over a couple thousand views on it.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then
the biscuits and mustard.
Next time we're doing food for a movie.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with the food for it. What about originality?
Maybe not incredibly original.
Yeah.
I guess maybe at the time. I don't know. It's hard to live now and then look back on it and say that was not original.
Right.
But maybe at the time, that was mid '80s. I think the slasher genre was kind of getting going there.
Yeah.
So maybe not 100% original, maybe 37% original.
Now, I would have liked to have seen it. I know it was dark, but I would have loved to have seen just how dark it would have been had the studio not stepped in.
Yeah.
Because originally it was going to be not rated or rated X for violence and gore. So they had to cut quite a bit out.
Wow.
So I would just... What did they cut out? I would have loved to have seen that. Chances are we probably won't ever get to view that take on it, but I think it would be kind of interesting to...
Surely there's somebody on YouTube that's created a Cobra... Cobra parody, something.
I know a lot of these I saw like the other day that a studio had picked up in some regard a fan-made Spider-Man film when they were going to screen it somewhere.
Cool.
So I was like, that's kind of cool, but I'm not sure which one it is. Well, I guess it's an unmade one, probably. But I was like, that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
That happens. So would you recommend Cobra?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Why do you think you'd recommend it?
Oh, it's pretty simple film. I don't think it's like too out there for anybody to really get on board with and understand. I thought it was fun. I thought it was there was a lot of like really cool lengthy chase scenes and fight scenes and like shoot 'em up type scenes. So if you're into that thing, I think it's cool.
I think so too.
Yeah, and his character's great. I think for that mid '80s look. I think he nailed it. So
I
I
do
definitely
too.
would. And it's Stallone and the car.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
got a lot
but-
of good things. It's a great throwback to an '80s action movie. You've got Stallone at the height of his Hollywood powers, doing what he wants to do.
Yeah.
But why does he only cut? Why does he cut the pizza with the scissors?
I noticed that too. I don't know.
That's been up for a discussion.
I think he wore gloves the entire movie. Like he even eats everything with like he's.
Well, I was thinking of that too.
Maybe it was cold. Maybe it was cold pizza and.
Do you know what time of trivia
It was
question?
winter. It was winter.
Do you know what holiday was around though?
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah, there was a lot of like outside the safe house. There was like some Christmas ornament or like the plastic Christmas cane, candy cane.
Yeah.
Christmas stand
Yeah.
or whatever.
And what do you think of the montages? We've got the montage, Angel of the City, where it cuts between Stallone looking around the city and in Monty, and then the fashion photography.
I love
photo
I
session.
love a montage.
I do too.
Yeah, I love it. I think all the music's always fun, and it's always like it's a good way to really get through a ton of material really fast.
Yeah.
So like you could just that's what they used it for, to get through 5 minutes of like script.
Yeah.
We need to take these 37 pages of script and put it into 5 minutes. And
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
best way to do it. And it's just good, quick information.
Yeah.
Just boom, boom, boom. This is what's happening.
And then when it's done well, it's memorable.
Sure.
Like you remember those montages, and they work if done well.
Top Gun had them.
Yep. Now Stallone wanted later in the film, in the third act, when most of the action takes place, I would say, especially with the motorcycles, that scene was originally supposed to be at night, but they thought we need to get this done quickly. It's going to be harder to shoot at night because a lot of the Night Slashers crew or the cult members had dark clothing on, and I thought it looked pretty cool as a daytime scene.
Yeah, I'm okay with the daytime. Yeah, it's like a morning thing. Everybody, you get up, the early bird. Those guys are early birds. They have
Yeah.
other jobs to get to.
Now, when they do this, do you think is it like they're all arriving at one place, or that they come dragging in? So they've got coffee. How do they?
I think they met up at the warehouse, and they're
Okay.
just like, okay, we're gonna roll out and we're gonna hit this safe house, and
So you don't think so? So you think they've come prepared?
yeah,
They're
yeah, I
driving
think
in, listening to like pumped up music, getting ready.
Oh yeah, I think they all got the email. They showed up early, and they were just like, yeah, we're gonna go raid this place, and we're gonna try and kill this girl, and she's seen our boss's face, and so
We know somebody whose job has to be to fill up the gas in all those bikes.
I think they probably have a business gas card,
Okay.
like a henchman business gas card. And
I wonder if the officer she used her because I'm sure don't officers have
Oh
access
yeah,
to?
she's getting every perk that the police station can give, and they don't even know.
And that's how she even found out the Bridget Nielsen's address, wasn't it? Was that how they?
Oh.
Didn't she look it up? Was that what it was?
Yeah, I forgot it. Sorry, I forgot about Stallone's setup at his house. Those two computers, and like he's got he just rolls into the house, grabs the pizza, and gets an egg carton that's got his cleaning supplies in it.
Out of the freezer.
Yeah, I was like, he's gonna have eggs and pizza, and like, oh no, this is him. This is cleaning kit.
And he's got
And then, he's got this little computer that are this. If you've not seen the movie, they're the size of like maybe a 6-inch by 6-inch screen. It's
Yeah.
like the size of a whatever old school IBM, and he's got two of those, and he's just doing doing the pizza, cleaning the gun, doing the work.
and
He's trying to find out.
He's got it
slasher.
typically set up also, if you look quickly, as if like that his job is his life.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, looks like I don't know if it's a map or something on the wall there, and he's got like some pictures of people.
yep. He's got like the old
Like mugshot.
blueprint of like how they do from like their X's and O's. Like it looks like a big football play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got the telescope, if you notice, in the back window.
Yeah.
Now, what's he looking out his window at?
I think he's just got to check out the city.
Make sure.
I got to keep an eye on the city.
And he also, I like the fact that he's not afraid to back down to those guys that wouldn't move their vehicle.
Okay, let me tell you something that I noticed. Yeah, he really sets the tone for that. They're just like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, when he just randomly grabs that dude's shirt, he's like, clean up your act, But if you notice, that guy's got a microphone and tape to his chest.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go back and watch it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like he just rips his shirt. So that was like his microphone for audio for the movie.
Yeah.
But or what I love to think, he was like undercover for the police. Like he was a CI, like he was an informant for the police.
Now, wouldn't that be cool if they used that angle and then they put that in the sequel?
Part 2.
Yeah.
We're giving these guys so much information
So
for
much
part 2.
material.
That, maybe we need to write it. Maybe
we need to
write
pitch
this.
it.
Yeah.
And pitch it to Stallone.
But we got to come up with the subtitle.
True.
Cobra 2.
When he rips that guy's teeth,
Yeah, he
it's like the
so good.
what's that T-shirt called? The
like the Hulkamania breakaway shirt, or like
because he just gets it and he just jerks it off.
just put and it's like the front of his shirt, and his friends are there and everything.
Because he's got like a button-down shirt open.
Yeah, he looked good. He had a great fit going.
Yeah, and then
he's just like, hey man, what are you doing? Well, you hitting my car? Because Cobretti slides in there and he's just like, like move over or move up so I can park. And he like bumps him
and pushes him forward.
Yeah,
just
pushes
a
it
few
forward.
feet.
So of course he gets out and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he comes back there and then Cobra just like rips his shirt from the front down. He's like, "Hey, clean up your act."
And then that guy goes and kicks his wheel.
Yeah. So good. And then like he pulls up the next time and then he's just like, "Hey, I'll move. No worries. I got it. I'll move."
They're friends.
Yeah, the other buddies now. They've created that respect. So good.
But wouldn't you have thought that
Move your car so I can go upstairs
had ran into that guy before though?
I feel like it. Yeah, like they're parked there. Like they should have already known each other. Maybe Cobretti just moved in.
True.
He just moved there.
Yeah.
That's why he's got his cleaning supplies in an egg carton.
Yep. And he puts his paper underneath the grill. If you
He does.
that.
Yeah. As soon as he rolls up, yeah, he's just like, I'm gonna burn this later. There's nothing on the news that I need to worry about. I already know the city.
I would love to sit down with Stallone. Well, ask him many things, but sit down and say, why did you? He had the match in his mouth quite a bit, so he could have got choked easily. He had the gun stuffed down in front of his pants.
The whole movie, yeah.
And I'm like,
those jeans. Come on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, how could you run in the? A lot of times I'll see like in action movies they'll have, especially Arnold. Arnold does it in The Last Action Hero as well. If you've seen it, he has on boots, and boots don't seem to me to be what you would run after somebody in.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never really wore boots like that, to be honest. Like like hiking boots, but like cowboy.
Yeah, like a
boots.
calf, like a mid calf type boot.
Have you wore those before?
I have, sure. Yeah.
Could you chase down a perp that way?
No, I don't know that I would. No, no.
In tight jeans?
I could not chase them. I could not. Tight jeans and boots, I could not chase a perp, no.
No. There's an episode, we'll go back to Seinfeld for a moment, where Kramer throws all of Jerry's shoes out and Jerry is forced to wear cowboy boots because that's the only shoes that he has left in the closet.
I think I have seen that one.
And
we should do a test and see if we could catch each other in like tight jeans and boots and see who can run the fastest.
Yeah, that would be like a boot relay.
Yeah. Boot relay.
But it could be the yearly Cobretti boot relay. You've got to dress like your best Cobretti impersonation.
That's great, yeah. And then we're going to be serving pizza and ketchup covered fries and whatever Tony Gonzalez got from the store that day, which is like I think it was a candy bar.
Yeah,
he got like 5 of the same candy bar. I think it was Mounds.
Mounds.
Yeah.
What's your favorite candy bar? Do you have a favorite?
I don't eat a lot of candy bars, but I do. Snickers is always a good one. I think Whatchamacallit's pretty good.
Whatchamacallit is a good one.
Yeah.
I've given up. I won't say candy completely, but I was big on gummy candy up until the last couple of months, and I've given that up just for no real reason, just to try to be a little bit healthier.
I think it's a great idea. I'm kind of off the sugar too, but
Yeah.
have had a little bit in the past. But
So Whatchamacallit or Snickers?
yeah, I think so. What about you?
If I had to choose, I would go with. I like the Whatchamacallit, and I also like peanut M&Ms.
Yeah,
So I'd go with
those are good.
that. But yeah, I would definitely recommend Cobra. If you haven't seen Cobra, then I think it'd be a fun ride.
Sure.
And I think
Literally.
a lot of definitely. And I really think that people should check out Stallone, a lot of Stallone movies. And the reason being is that he overcame a lot of adversity when he was born.
Sure.
And even that later on, they wanted to buy the screenplay to Rocky, and he was persistent. No, I want to star in this. I want to star in this. And they wanted, I think, Burt Reynolds to be in it, and they offered him. They offered him more money to not be in it
than to make it.
Yeah. And he had $350, in the bank, and so he prevailed. He was nominated for an Oscar for his first major role, and he's been a powerhouse ever since. But I don't know. I guess when I was younger, a lot of the times when I would go to the movies, I would have my grandmother, drop me off, and I would go a lot alone. I mean, I would go with friends and stuff, but I would go a lot alone because I would see a lot of movies that they really didn't want to see.
Sure.
And I went to see a lot of early Stallone movies in the theater. Even Stopper My Mom Was Shoot. I saw that in the theater. Daylight, The Specialist, Demolition Man, on and on. And they've always had a special place in my heart because it also represented a time when action stars were also trying to do the one-liner quips later on. So that was kind of fun in a way.
Sure.
But the action was what's going to happen in this Stallone movie because he's, Demolition Man. It was like each movie was bigger than the other, than the last.
He had a run. He had a run there through the 80s and the early 90s. He had a run.
Yeah, he really did. And Cobra, I really wished. A lot of movies I don't wish there were sequels to, but Cobra, I kind of wish that there was a sequel to Cobra.
Well, I think I guess I was okay with it being standalone, but until you mentioned that Monty was actually could have been the supposed leader of the cult.
Yeah.
That changes. That's a really cool angle.
And I'm surprised, and I wonder really if Top Gun had came out maybe a few weeks later or maybe a month later, if they would have left the runtime as Cobra, 2 hours might have been too long. I'm not sure, but I think it could have been fleshed out a little bit better. Just have a little bit more character development, maybe 15 minutes worth.
There's a lot that you could have developed there. You could have added a whole lot to.
Yeah.
His relationship with Brigitte, his relationship with Tony. I thought, speaking of Tony, there's that one scene where Tony gets shot. He gets shot in the leg or something.
Right.
And they're kind of gunning him down. And he's like, "We gotta go!" And she's driving the truck, and he jumps in the back of the pickup. They're taking off from the safe house, and they leave Tony. They just totally leave that. That would never happen. That's your partner.
They did leave Tony.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I'm not. And I guess I'm trying to think of the movie. I guess he just crawled away but they ended up killing everybody.
Yeah.
So it's it didn't. Yeah.
But I did think of that last night when I rewatched it. I was like, they did leave him there because he's nowhere to be seen until after that scene until he's in the stretcher.
And they're putting him in.
Yeah. So we recommend Cobra.
Yeah, do it.
It's on. I think it's streaming now on what?
Max.
Yeah. So those with Max. If not, you can probably go to other streaming sites and get it. I actually have a DVD of
Do
Cobra.
you? I think I do too. I couldn't find it, so I just went to Max.
Yeah, I went to Max and watched it because it was just there. But yeah, I do have I do like the DVDs, but usually if I just want a quick watch, I'll just do what's on streaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a collector.
Yeah.
So I enjoy.
I enjoy finding the rare finds.
Man.
Here it is.
I love the dig.
So, what do you have anything in mind for next week?
No, I don't. I mean, there's any number of things out there. I loved how you, a couple movies ago before we did Evil Dead Rise, you did you let our viewers
choose.
So maybe we should maybe by the first of the week we can have a list, a top 5 list.
Okay,
or something.
We can do that.
There's a few that I think that we've already mentioned currently. Drive was one that we talked about. I would like, maybe one that you and I both haven't seen.
Okay.
And maybe that's fun. We could learn as everybody's learning with us.
That would be a lot of fun. So we'll definitely do that. We'll put out a list and we'll narrow it down.
I love a list.
By Monday, and then we'll have it up on the social media to go and vote on. So speaking of social medias, please go to Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and check out the Other People's Show. Also check out Anthony Wayne on Facebook and all the streaming services as well.
Thank you.
It's going to be a fun show. We're going to get ready and take a break for just a moment, but we will be back in a few moments for the Other People's Show. I'm Adam.
I'm Anthony.
And we are Real Talk. Have a good night.
See you later.